You're listening to Our Two Satoshis podcast with hosts Justin and Billy from CryptoBiz.com.
Been some pretty big news this week coming through in the cryptocurrency world. Some kind of becoming a little bit more mainstream in different sorts of industries and stuff. But before we kind of get into that, you've been working on that scalping method that we talked about in last week's podcast. How's it been working out for you so far?
Yeah, man, I got to tell you, I'm super psyched for it. So I've been doing it for about a week now. Still trying to get a handle on it, but I mean, so far it's been pretty successful. It's been about a week so far, and I've been keeping track of all my trades in a spreadsheet. And so, I mean, so far it's been 5 out of 7 days has been a success, 3% every single day.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, 72%. I mean, that's like a D, but still making money. I mean, that's baller. It takes like 5 minutes out of your morning, right? Like, set it and forget it. You make 3% a day. And that's just a small piece of the
72%
right?
of the days you make 3%.
Exactly.
So how has your strategy worked? Are you like, how are you finding the token? How is it or coin? How, are you only making one trade a day? Like, how's that work?
Yeah. So, I mean, just kind of starting off, I use TradingView. It's basically a website that's, I think, started off for non-crypto stuff. It's just mostly stock-based stuff, but it gives you metrics. So it's charts, graphs, RSI gives you technicals. I think there's some news on there. So it's a pretty robust platform from that standpoint. There's also a social piece to it, so people can share out their strategies, like their own algorithms. But what I do is they have a screener on there, and I can basically specify, I can essentially filter out their charts and say I only want to see stuff that's on Bittrex. I only want to see things that are rated at a strong buy.
Yeah, because it has a buy rating, right? Like exactly. Strong buy all the way down to what? Strong sell or something? Or what?
Yeah. It goes from, this is baller to dump that shit. So yeah, I do strong buy and Bittrex because I'm just more comfortable with Bittrex. And so those ratings are based on various metrics, technicals like relative strength index, moving averages, stuff like that. So once I narrow it down to Bittrex and strong buy, I focus the time frame on 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, and 1 hour chart. Essentially, because I'm trying to jump in and jump out within, at most, a 24-hour period. So I'm looking at those shorter time frames. So you can slice and dice however you want, but that's how I'm doing it because I'm trying to do 3% per day. So then once I actually get that list, and it varies depending on the time frame and also what's going on each day.
Yeah, because those buy ratings on TradingView are all in like real time and everything.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, they're constantly changing, so that's something to be aware of too. But so something else I do once I get that smaller list, I look at the percent change so far, and I basically try and cap it at 5%. And what I'm looking for is something that's not really been overbought yet. Yeah, I know 5% is not a lot, but when you're trying to keep your risk as low as possible, that's what I'm doing. So I try and find one that's no more than 5% gain for the day. And then once I find those, I look at the chart because I'm looking for kind of that slow and steady rise. I know some people prefer the choppiness. But for me, I try and keep risk at the absolute minimum. So I like the slow and steady slope. The trend is your friend. Because something to be aware of as well is on Bittrex, you can't have two opposing sell orders for the same position.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you because like when you've been telling us about this and doing this daily, you basically go and make your buy, but then you put in a sell order 3% above,
Yep.
and and then you kind of don't look at it, right? But like,
Yep.
what if it drops? I mean, you don't have kind of a
Exactly.
cushion there for you, limit sell, and
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting at here is I'm trying to find things that are kind of that slow and steady move. Like I'll kind of take a peek at the graph, really a visual. So I'm looking at kind of that more or less like the bottom of the teacup, like that really slow and steady slope versus the really jittery looking position that could potentially plunge below your support level where you bought it.
yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean by that slow and steady slope.
What was your
Um,
pick today?
Today was Steam in the Bitcoin market. Yeah, I just checked on a little while ago. We still have some room to go, but as far as I'm concerned, as long as I hit it before 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'm all good.
Yeah.
Which,
This is, I mean, this is easy. I mean, a lot of people, want to go in and get those gains for 100, 200% or something
yeah,
like that. And you're sitting there for weeks in a token doing that. But this 3%, I mean, just the compounding daily, it adds up. It's a good chunk of money.
yeah, man, compounding interest. I know it takes some patience, but it's worth it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So is there anything like, any other tidbits that you want to add to that, or is that kind of covered? You're going to keep doing that for a little bit and then kind of report back on it?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to keep doing it, and so the end goal is I want to translate this into like a more automated process. And I kind of mentioned on our last podcast that I came across this platform that allows you to essentially customize your own bot. So once I really had this manual process really solidified, I'm going to try and translate it so that I'm not doing anything. It's like really set it and forget it. So that's still in the works. But for anybody that wants to play with us, we have a Discord group where we I post my pick for the morning, and I usually have it up right around 8:30ish, maybe 9 a.m. if I'm running late. Eastern. Yep. And we'll put that link to our Discord in the show notes.
Yeah, check it out. It's free. I mean, you got to invest at your own risk and everything, but we'll put out our little knowledge in there. So check out our Discord server for that. When you were talking about the kind of the choppiness and the volatility, my mindset immediately went to Silicon Valley and Guilfoyle.
Yeah, dude, I just want to keep watching that clip over and over again. Like every single time I crack up.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I don't know, I don't want to be a spoiler alert here if you're a Silicon Valley fan and you haven't watched like the last couple episodes, but Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley had basically a script written up that every time Bitcoin dropped below a certain threshold to where it wasn't profitable to mine anymore, it would like make this loud noise in their office. I'll post the clip below of our podcast so that you can check that out. It's hilarious. But it's totally funny. But and the reason for that was so he could remotely turn on and off his Bitcoin miner.
Oh, yeah. So good.
It's hilarious. I love that show. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So kind of some other things that we came across. We talked about these, for a while, but one of the biggest pieces of news this week was, and it's kind of flown under the radar because their marketing team, but Basic Attention Token and Brave signing this deal with Dow Jones, dude. Like that's
slow and
huge.
steady rise.
Yeah.
That's killing it.
Oh, it's going crazy. I mean, I think it's, coming close on hitting all-time highs now because of this.
Yeah, man. Are you still holding?
Well, I mean, I have some from us being verified publishers through CryptoFizz, but I'm not,
Yeah.
A personal holder really.
No, at one point you had a decent amount.
Yeah, I did. But that's when we kind of moved into Syscoin and some other things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely have faith in this company. Look at it, go through the list. Founder created Firefox and JavaScript. Brennan Ike. They've got a great team behind it. And some of the news that I saw today, or some of the posts that I saw in their Facebook group, is that people were like, oh, well, if they had a real marketing team, the coin would go up, better or, higher or whatever. It's like, I don't want them to have a normal marketing team like some of these cryptos.
Yeah, I mean the product's going to speak for itself.
Yeah.
Like it already is. People just want that instant rocket ship.
It's great. It's great. I mean, if you haven't tried out the Brave browser, I'll post a link below to our podcast. Download it and try it out. It's awesome.
It's worth the hype.
Recommend it. Oh, totally. It's an awesome product. And now that they're being, integrated with Dow Jones and, which Dow Jones owns, Barron's, Market Watch.
Yeah.
Yep. Mansion Global, Financial News. It's kind of cool in a way too that, well, in a way, I mean, this is huge really, that a blockchain advertising product is now being incorporated into these financial, companies that typically were, stock market, Dow Jones, etc. So
it's creeping in
every single day. See, exactly. I mean, it's touching every industry now, pretty much. Crypto is.
It's really exciting. I mean, I love this shit.
Oh, I mean, this kind of wasn't the next thing that we had keyed up, but I mean, talking about touching every industry. I mean, look what the biggest news of the week, Verge did.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's the market. So Verge came out with their partnership, and it was with.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
yeah. Was it MindGeek? That's the parent company.
Yep, MindGeek.
Yeah, and so one of their subsidiaries is Pornhub, which is exactly what they said it would be. $1 billion company, global. But
MindGeek owns Pornhub, Brazzers.
Yeah, this is big money.
Yeah,
and the market hated it.
Well, I mean, that's just sell the news. I personally believe, and I'm not even a big Verge guy. I don't even hold any Verge. I personally believe that over the next, and this is just my intuition, over the next week or two, Verge will probably hit an all-time high. Because obviously you're going to have this normal pullback, but the fact that now you can use this token, which is like one of the ultimate privacy tokens, you can use it to, whether you like it or not, pay for services on, pornography services. It's going to grow. I mean, no longer do men and women have to worry about their spouses or others seeing credit card statements to a website like that. They can utilize a token, a cryptocurrency token, to actually pay for the services.
Exactly. I mean, this is very appropriate, right? Like, for what the service is offering, it fits that it's in the porn industry.
Oh, totally.
But also, I mean, the porn industry's always been like a first mover with new tech.
Well,
you know what I mean?
This isn't really a new tech instance, but I was reading about Pornhub, and in the past, so back last year, they actually sent out snowplows in Boston with Pornhub on them, and they plowed the streets and helped plow them for free, just because it was advertising for them. So this company's willing to take a chance at whatever gets its name out there.
That's smart, for sure. Yeah, man.
The one thing that I did see though is like they're not allowing you to pay for like subscription-based services with it. So you can only pay for like one-time, add-ons and stuff on the site because of the volatility of crypto. They don't want you paying for the subscription services like that, which
makes sense.
Is smart. But there's got to be ways that somebody's going to figure out ways around that volatility to make those types of things work. I feel like it has to,
This is going to sound like a stupid question, but have you seen at all a platform that allows you to do recurring payments in crypto? I feel like so far it's always been one-off.
Yeah.
Which may speak to volatility. It may speak to, I don't know, just something I kind of thought of. Like, I haven't seen that.
No, that's I forget which token it was that I came across a while ago, but it was basically they had it set up. It's not Power Ledger, I don't believe, but it's something along those lines of like renewable energy or something, and transferring of services. And basically what they did was, instead of having just one single token that was used for the payments because of the volatility, there was actually a branch on this chain that it had two different tokens. One token always had a stable price that never changed, and then the other token was the main like trading token, but the stable price token is the one that you use to pay for those services. I forget which one that was. I'll have to research that, and I'll put that in the show notes if I come across it. But yeah, I mean, there's going to have to be ways around this to figure out something with crypto to do recurring payments.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, this is going back to like Sia Coin. When Sia Coin was talking about people paying for file storage on their network, they were saying basically they didn't want their coin to be that volatile because of that. They wanted people to know their payment costs and stuff. So they really didn't care about the price of the coin going up or down per se. So somebody will figure it out. But there's got to be a point in time where crypto recurring payments can be utilized through cryptocurrency.
For sure. I'm just sitting here looking at the Verge charts. What's your prediction?
I think it'll hit all-time high.
By,
I mean, I'm not saying by a particular date. I'm not the goddamn oracle here, but
well, of course it's going to grow. I mean, it's kind of a vague prediction.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm saying probably in the next. I would guess maybe the next month or so. I mean, what is the current all-time high?
Yeah, it looks like on CoinMarketCap it's about 23 cents if you're doing dollars.
And it's it's only at like 7 cents now?
Yeah, 0.06969, which is funny.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'm a little bit off on that, on it hitting in the next month or so. But I do see it getting, to an all-time high here, in the near future.
I mean, there's no doubt that the market's going to catch up to this news, but it was certainly, buy the rumor, sell the news.
Well, yeah, but the problem with it is right now is it's only going to be really crypto traders that are going to be using this for Pornhub. But once there becomes a point in time where Verge is easy to buy with fiat, I would say the price is going to skyrocket at that point, because then anybody pretty much can get it and utilize it.
For sure.
I mean, that's the one thing. Like, I would think Pornhub or MindGeek or something should incorporate something in their websites where you can actually buy it directly with fiat.
I mean, I don't doubt that that's not in the works.
No.
I mean, I would not be surprised by that. Hopefully they do.
Did you see who their spokesman was for the advertising?
Was it Stormy Daniels?
Yeah.
Making that money.
Oh, she's milking this media, her 15 minutes of fame right now, like crazy.
Well, I mean, I suppose that makes sense because they had to fundraise to do this partnership, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if, I'm sure most of that went to her.
Yeah, some Verge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should tell Trump if he wants to go after her, make sure she pays her taxes on that crypto.
Yeah, exactly. Anonymous email to Trump. You might want to check out blockchain.
The funny part about all this, though, is like in our Discord group, some people were commenting saying, like, who still pays for porn? You know that MindGeek and Pornhub, they bring in like something like $600,000 a day?
Yeah, I mean, like, the reality is it's a $1 billion company. Like, it's exactly what they claimed it was going to be.
Well, Pornhub by itself is worth like $4 billion, but what's MindGeek worth? Let's do a quick DuckDuckGo here. And I don't know if I'll be able to come across this, but that's okay. The Pornhub's worth about $4 billion itself. That's got to throw the value of MindGeek up there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's news for Verge. So I think, obviously, I think we touched on this, but the main part about it is, it becoming that is it being the privacy token. And I kind of learned this from researching it a little bit, was that it doesn't really use cryptography that much. So Verge uses Tor and this peer-to-peer system to do, for the most part. So that's a divergence there from the normal like cryptocurrency realm.
I know we talked about fun quite a bit in the past. I just came across an announcement a while ago that they actually signed on their first partner, Fight Games. You know who those guys are? I'd never heard of them.
I hadn't heard of them until I mean, I haven't really, don't know much about them, but I read kind of the same press release there, I think, that you may have, and that's where I learned.
Hmm. There's not much out there about it, but it's like a mobile slots game, or company rather. They have like 3 or 4 games. One is Alice Cooper's School's Out for Summer slot game, which is hysterical. Um, but yeah, so it just looks like this Spike Games is kind of trialing the platform and helping them test out the beta version prior to going live on the main net. So that's pretty cool to see some movement there.
Oh yeah, that's totally awesome. I'm telling you, man. I think I said this to you a couple weeks ago off of our podcast and everything. Like, I think May is going to be a huge month for Funfair. I do still hold some Funfair.
Oh, same here.
Yeah, and it's had a great week so far. But
Still so freaking cheap and undiscovered, man. Like everybody's losing interest because it's not, rocketing within 2 days of holding it. But I think it's a sleeping giant, just like Sis is. And that's why I'm holding pretty big positions in both.
oh yeah, I mean, well, with Funfair, the thing that they, them bringing on Spike Games like they are, and then this is gonna be obviously one of their game developers that adds their forte of what games are available on the Funfair platform. But
Hmm.
then they're talking about May timeframe, bringing on their first, uh, casino operator essentially to work with them and start testing all this. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I mean, they've got a bunch of them looking at their timeline right now, their roadmap rather. They got a lot of global events coming up. Actually came across an article where they just hired a PR firm as well to try and get some name, their name out there, get some more operators signed up. They're making moves.
totally. I I will have a piece of that pie for a good long term hold.
This summer we're going to be doing backflips.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's
Well,
going to know about it.
and the one you kind of mentioned there a second ago, and we talked about this a lot in the past, but Syscoin. So end of this month, Syscoin's releasing
Yeah,
3.0, right?
that's right. Master nodes, everything.
I actually saw today it's on the testnet now. You can actually
Yeah.
go and start testing it out.
Yep. And that's been climbing a little bit too. I mean, it's probably also because of the broader market going up, but these are all good things. I'm excited
All
for it.
all good.
Alt good.
All good.
Alt good things.
No, I mean, there's a lot of positivity coming out of the market right now. We're starting to get that good trend upwards. Just a week or
Hmm.
so ago, we broke the 8,000 barrier again. We broke 7,000, then we broke 8,000, and now we've hovered right around the 8,000 barrier, and it's been some good momentum.
It's the beginning of alt season, and we kind of speculated, I think, in our last podcast. Actually, I'm not sure if we did on the podcast or not, but I know we did internally about seeing what happens after tax season. After peak tax season, the market typically starts to climb, and that seems to be what's happening. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or not, but
I think it's starting to climb because you said on our podcast 2 podcasts ago that 6,500 was going to be at the bottom of the market, and right around the time that it hit that, it's come back up.
that's
So
right.
you are the goddamn oracle.
Hey, even a broken clock works twice a day. Uh, yeah, we'll see how it plays out, but hey, I'm happy for now.
Did you see how Kraken got an inquiry from the Attorney General's office in New York, and they said we're not answering your questions?
I came across a headline a little while ago, and I didn't give it a second look besides Kraken because I used to, trade with them. But no, I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, I
So is
mean, I
this like
did.
with their bid license, like the New York's, they're a little bit more regulated in that sense.
Yeah, they have that bit license. Apparently, Kraken had moved out of New York because they didn't want to deal with their shit. And
Yeah.
now, New York Attorney General is sending out this questionnaire to. They sent it to 13 different exchanges, and Kraken has said, no, we're not answering your questionnaire. And it's like, They're like, if you want to come and have lunch with us, do a meeting, something like that, we can do that. But in order to pull these resources together to answer all the questions that you have, it would take too much time and it would screw up our roadmap, and we're not doing that.
Interesting.
I mean, the CEO of Kraken was actually quoted as saying, Kraken left New York because New York is hostile to crypto. And this questionnaire we received today proves that New York is not only hostile to crypto, it is hostile to business. So,
boom goes the dynamite.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've talked about how regulation is good and stuff, depending on what it is, but I think New York is maybe trying to take it a little bit too far. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty aggressive, but I don't know enough about it, specifically what the bit license requires for these exchanges. So I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But
yeah. Neither do I, but that's my 2 cents that New York is a shit show when it comes to crypto.
Too much regulation, goddammit.
I don't know enough, but it's a shit show.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So, I actually, in our briefing for our podcast, didn't throw this out to you, but I want to throw this out. I want to start doing this every podcast going forward. If you're a listener out there and you have questions, you're getting into crypto, you have you're getting into trading, you have any types of questions. How do I set up a wallet? How do I do this? How do I do that? Send us your questions to contact@cryptofizz.com or comment on our podcast below. And we will answer these questions on our next podcast. Every time we get them, we'll answer them on the following podcast as best to our ability. Like if you want me to explain, or us to explain something really in depth that we maybe don't have time for, maybe we can address it separately with you. But one-off questions, hit us up.
It could be, why do you sell like Bill Clinton?
Exactly.
We'll do our best to explain.
Exactly.
Join our Discord. We're pretty active in there.
Well, and kind of where I was coming from with those questions is we got a question on our Discord about masternodes, and it wasn't really a question per se, and it's from somebody that has been a long-time listener and friend, and he posed that we talked about masternodes on our last podcast or two, and that we didn't really talk about any downsides to them. And, basically, like I said, this is our two Satoshis. It's our opinion.
Not reading Rainbow. Can't do it all.
Yeah, we're not reading Rainbow. We're not giving you every piece of information that we can. We've got a half-hour podcast that we do weekly. But just wanted to kind of touch on a few of those downsides since that was posed to us about masternodes. So I think one of the first ones, Billy, and I'm sure you would agree on this, is a lot of these masternode tokens, not all of them, but a lot of them are on smaller level exchanges. So if you want to sell, it's not as necessarily easy to do because there may not be the buy orders in there. I mean, what do you think, Billy?
Yeah, I mean, these are all typically low volume projects. So that comes with the territory, right? Like, there isn't a huge market for them yet. Maybe never, but like I said, it's part of the territory. And that's true for Gencoin. I mean, the quality of the project is way up there. Like they're actually offering a great service. They're just new and they're doing it right. They aren't trying to pump what they're doing. They're actually trying to grow their community organically. So right now they're just on one exchange.
Yeah, Crypto Bridge.
Yep. So just break your orders down into smaller chunks. Have some patience. But to be honest, I mean, I don't. It's not a big deal for me because I'm not trying to just cash out, Yeah. I'm actually holding the shit long term for the most part. But it is something to be aware of.
Well, and other downsides would be for doing these masternodes would be like if you were running your own server, keeping the server up, doing those types of things, updating your wallet, etc. We typically use Gencoin for all of our masternodes, so they kind of manage all of that for us. So that's not really a downside for us that are trading on Gencoin like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, I don't really see these things as downsides. They're all kind of like they come with the territory, but it is something to be aware of. And I don't know. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, and you have, there are thousands of people that got into things like BitConnect, for instance. Yeah. Well, BitConnect promised you the ability you put in your money and we'll pay you out this daily return. Well, the problem with that is that BitConnect and other ones like USI Tech, other ones out there, had they hold all your funds at all times. So you can't get those funds out. The cool part about a masternode is, let's just take Gen for example, a Gen coin masternode. It takes 1,000 tokens. You purchase those 1,000 tokens and you have those sitting in your wallet. You have to send them to a separate address in your wallet, but Gen will walk you through that process. Mm-hmm. Those tokens are yours at all times. If you dip below the 1,000, then your masternode just stops working. But you can take those 1,000 out at any time and sell them. If you let them sit in there, you're generating this daily returns, but you have full control. So exactly. It's generating the returns like BitConnect and others promised in a way, but you have all the control.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds. I mean, finding out about masternodes and actually executing on it has been friggin' amazing.
I've actually slowed down my trading a ton because of that.
Oh, same here. Like the 3% scalping is just like so I have something to do. Like it's like my daily gambling habit.
Yeah.
It's because it is so set it and forget it.
So check out GenCoin. Check out their platform. They're actually not accepting new masternodes right now. I think it comes back tomorrow.
Yep.
Or a day later. They're working on some things behind the scenes before they bring on new masternodes. But they have I think last time I counted, there was 700 masternodes that they're running right now, and they're such a new platform, which is
Yeah. Well, and that's why they're down right now. Like why they're kind of they've kind of stopped new masternode launches because they're trying to trying to scale up basically. They've grown so quickly, their infrastructure can't handle it. So they had to put the pause on it.
Yeah, and you're going to have to buy, on their platform, they used to accept Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to pay for the masternodes monthly, but now they're only accepting their own token Gen. So you will have to go to CryptoBridge to buy some Gen. I suggest if you do utilize CryptoBridge, it's a decentralized exchange, so you can actually download the program that's stored on your computer rather than accessing it through the web, and it actually works a lot better on the program that's on your computer, the application that you install.
It's funny. I've actually never used it on my computer.
I downloaded it on my Mac.
Nice.
Yeah, it works so much faster.
Because I know there was some talk about lag, like there's that slowness. So are you saying it's a little bit faster?
Oh, it's so much faster than using it on the web.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I definitely would suggest checking it out. It's the way to go. Cool. So, anything else you want to kind of cover today? Oh, actually, hold on. Let me throw this out before I say that to you, Billy. So we are working on, and we'll probably be releasing this in the next week or two, but we're working on a new plugin. It's a Chrome plugin, and I'm going to see if we can make it for Brave as well, but I don't know how it works.
Plug your plugin.
Yeah. So we're creating a new Chrome plugin right now. If you utilize Bittrex to trade, this is going to give you more information about tokens while you're trading on Bittrex. So for instance, if you go there and maybe it doesn't tell you how many tokens are circulating or what the 24-hour volume is or whatever of the token, Bittrex doesn't normally show you that. Well, our new Chrome plugin that we're going to be creating, that's going to be free for anybody out there, can grab it, scoop it up. When we get it released, we'll throw a link down on CryptoFizz and put it on our podcast. You'll be able to download it. It just runs whenever you access Bittrex. It will give you more information about those tokens than normally Bittrex does. So we were trying to build it for us to just help us out a little bit. Mm-hmm. But now that we're, getting towards the final stages of completion with it, we're like, hey, why don't we give this out to our listeners? It'll help them out a little bit. So be on the lookout for that. Now to you, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if you guys have any suggestions for tools that you wish there was, existed, that would be a really cool conversation to have. We're always all ears.
Yeah, you can shoot us that at contact@CryptoFizz as well.
Yeah. Jump in Discord, say what's up. We're on all the platforms. We're on Steemit, Twitter, Facebook.
All of them.
Whatever your platform is, we're there.
We're on all of them, and everybody's talking about us.
That's right. We're huge.
Huge. Okay,
yeah, man,
that's all I got for today. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you kick us out, Billy.
All right, guys. As always, thanks for listening, and see you next week.
Later.